Alright runners, in today's video we're going to continue talking about body weight strength exercises. Last week in our last video we talked about the value of body weight strength exercises, the benefits that you get from body weight exercises, and many of the characteristics of effective body weight strength exercise workouts. And what I want to do in this video is talk about 5 of my favorite bodyweight exercises for runners. Now, truth be told, it's not really 5 exercises. I'm choosing these 5 exercises because each one has a lot of variations that allow you to continue progressing. And one of the reasons why I love bodyweight exercises is just because they are so convenient. You can do these workouts at home. You don't need to buy a bunch of equipment. And if you're smart about it, you can get quite strong and really benefit your running without ever needing to go to a gym. Yes, I consider weightlifting with real implements to be the gold standard of strength training. After all, it's going to be really hard to continue to progressively overload your body with more weight if you're simply relying on your body weight and some exercise bands. That amount of resistance only gets you so far. But nevertheless, we can structure a body weight program with this kind of progression, and we can also focus on not just injury prevention, not just general strength, but we can really focus on coordination and on power, 2 very valuable physical skills for runners that's going to improve your running economy and really help you run faster. Not just overall, but particularly at the end of races where you need to recruit a lot of muscle fibers, really dig down and run fast at the end of a race. That requires power. And with the right body weight exercises, we can do it. So let's get into it. My 5 favorite body weight strength exercises for runners are: number 1, the squat; number 2, the deadlift; number 3, the step up; number 4, the side plank; and finally, number 5, the bridge. Now, what I love about these exercises is that they're so fundamental to runners that I think every runner should be doing them on a regular basis. And there's so many variations of these exercises that no matter where you are with your relationship to strength training, you can start at a level that is still appropriate but challenging for you and then progress from there. Not only that, but you can do different variations of these exercises, different versions of these exercises, so that they're not just more challenging, but they challenge your body in different ways. And so, yes, you can add more weight to an exercise, you can add an exercise band to an exercise, but you can also add rotation. You can also add different movements while you're doing the exercise to make it more valuable to you. So one of the big reasons why I've chosen these 5 exercises is because they can be leveled. And this gets back to the idea of making them progressively harder over time. Yes, you can just do a body weight squat, but you can also do a sumo squat. You can also do a narrow stance squat. You can do a squat with a band around your knees or holding some light dumbbells. There are a lot of different variations of this. And so as you get stronger, as you develop competency with these exercises, you can keep leveling up so that you're getting stronger. But it's not just the fact that they're leveled, they're also running specific. So you'll see I didn't mention tricep extensions. I didn't mention bicep curls. Those are typically exercises that you're going to find that bodybuilders do. You know, they're talking about bis and tris day, chest and back day. Us runners, we don't lift like that. Instead, our exercises are much more comprehensive. They're full body, compound movements, and they focus much more on a movement or on a muscle group rather than on an individual muscle. And the other thing too is that many of these exercises, in fact most of these exercises, particularly with the more difficult variations of them, they're dynamic, which means they include some movement. You know, after all, running is a dynamic movement. We are moving around when we're running. It's not just like we're holding a certain pose. We're not just doing an isometric type of muscle contraction. So a side plank, for example, is an isometric movement that doesn't really have any movement to it. But in the variation of the side plank, you can add leg raises, you can add different rotational qualities to that side plank, and you can reach your arm under when you're doing a side plank and make it much more challenging. And by moving through multiple planes of motion, by introducing all of these extra movements within the exercise itself, yes, it makes it harder, but it also improves your coordination, your injury resilience, so that the next time you're running on a technical trail and you need to turn around behind you, that movement's not going to cause you to fall on your face because you've been training that movement. You're experienced with strength exercises that have a dynamic quality to them. This video is sponsored by Inside Tracker, our newest partner for the YouTube channel, and I couldn't be more excited. They are an ethical company. They are a company that I've been using personally for years, and they're one of the most reputable blood testing companies in the country. Inside Tracker tests your blood very simply. They look at over 40 different biomarkers, from stress hormones like cortisol to testosterone levels and vitamin D, also that you know what's going on inside your body. So you can tell if you're undertraining, you're overtraining, you're optimally training, or if you just have any other health issues that might be going on that might be impacting your running. And like I said, I've been using them for years. I've gotten numerous ultimate tests, and I'm about to get my third, and I added on the DNA kit. This is going to be really special for me just to get a more in-depth look at what's going on inside me so that I know if there are any red flags that I have to address. And that part of the whole procedure is why I love Inside Tracker, because you know what they do? They don't just give you a report showing you how your markers might be in the zone or outside the zone. They tell you how to improve them. So if you are too low or too high with any of these metrics, they give you science-backed ways to improve upon them through diet, exercise, or lifestyle changes. So I'm super happy about this partnership. And if you go to insidetracker.com/strengthrunning, use code strengthrunning, you're gonna get 25% off any test that they have. This is a great offer, and I'm really excited to partner with this company, so I hope you take advantage of it. That's insidetracker.com/strengthrunning, and use code strengthrunning to save 25% off on any test. Now, when it comes to these exercises, there's a lot of other reasons why I've chosen these 5 as some of my favorites for distance runners. So for the squat, this is a quad dominant exercise that is really a full body exercise. It is going to work a lot of different muscles, from your core to your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, and many other muscles in your body. The deadlift is also another full body exercise that has a slightly different focus. It's a little bit more glute and hamstring oriented than the squat, but both of these exercises are fundamental exercises. This is where you are squatting something down or lifting something up from the ground. Very fundamental, very simple, but hard to actually execute sometimes, especially if you're lifting heavy weight. And even with body weight versions of these exercises or using a light weight, perfecting the squat and the hip hinge movements, it's going to be really helpful for distance runners in particular. And I chose the step up because it is very running specific. It is a single leg exercise, and it requires a lot of coordination and control. So it's not pure strength, it's also working on you becoming more of an athlete. Can you be on one leg? Can you dynamically lift your body weight up with just one leg with the proper firing of muscles? If you can do that, then you can see how your running stride is going to become more powerful and also a lot more coordinated. Now, the side plank is a great exercise because it has runners work in a different plane of motion. When we're running, we are working in the sagittal plane, front and back. But when we're doing a side plank, we're working on the frontal plane, that side to side motion. And it also is an exercise that runners typically have trouble with. So I think runners should do it more. And if you add in some of the more challenging aspects to a side plank, like a leg lift, then you're really focusing on the hip. And the hip muscle is very helpful for injury prevention, for ensuring that you have a powerful and efficient stride. So the side plank is something that beginners can start with that is usually a little bit more difficult, and as you progress, there are really great benefits for runners. And I chose the bridge because, number one, it's a great exercise for beginners. You don't need any background to start doing a bridge. It's also glute oriented. And the glutes are one of the biggest muscle groups in the body. They really help power your stride. And if you have strong glutes, then your injury risk is going to be a lot lower. And once you are comfortable with the double leg bridge, you can start introducing single leg options, which makes it even more specific to runners. So there we have it, guys, my 5 favorite exercises for runners that are body weight exercises. We are continuing this theme of body weight training because I am coming out very soon with much more specific guidance on how runners can structure a body weight strength training program from start to finish that is periodized to match your training plan and is really focused not just on strength, not just on injury prevention, but on athleticism and on power. These are the exciting physical skills that make good runners into great runners. And I want you to be healthy and I want you to be powerful. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to miss any of the strength training videos that I'm going to be coming out with soon, and especially when we announce our new bodyweight strength training program.